Hello and good evening. It's 7:30, Monday the 15th of June 2020. It's the Interline competition to end all interline competitions. Hopefully not literally. It's the Interline Music Competition 2020. As you can see, we are having to do this online because of the current circumstances, but I'm pleased to say we have a full slate of entries from all four lines, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing them as much as I am. So these videos have been pre-recorded and sent in, and the adjudicator is joining us from Nottingham. His name is Mr. Foster, Christopher Foster, and he's the Director of Music at Trent College. I'm absolutely delighted that he is able to join us this evening.
Hello everybody, I'm Chris Foster, I'm Director of Music at Trent College. I'm delighted to be adjudicating the Interline Music Competition this year.
So when Mr. Hanley originally told me that this was due to take place on a warm summer's evening, you probably just heard the wind on the microphone there, in early to mid-June, I thought this is a wonderful opportunity for us all to celebrate outside the wonderful quality of music that will have been produced. And the wonderful quality of music is there, but alas, the warm summer's evening is not so much with us. So thank you very much for that, Mr. Hanley. But without further ado, let's go on to the performances. This whole programme this evening in this virtual concert will take about 45 minutes. We will hear Campion, then St. Omer's, then Sherborne, then Weld, and then Mr. Foster will deliver his adjudication and the results will be announced. So first of all we have Campion, and they're represented by James and by Paddy and by, you will see, my laptop's about to blow away, you will see shortly, by 4 versions of me.
kiss someone to kick you. There's not a net you couldn't slip through. Or at least that's the impression I get. Cause you're smooth and you're wet and she's not aware yet, but she's yours. She'll be saying use me, show me the jacuzzi. I imagine that it's there on a plate. You're our rendezvous rate, means that you'll never be frightened to make them wait for a while. I doubt it's your style not to get what you set out to acquire. The eyes are on fire, you are the unforecasted storm.
Zu Bethlehem im jüdischen Lande. Zu Bethlehem im jüdischen Lande. Denn also steht geschrieben, denn also steht geschrieben, durch den Propheten. Und du Bethlehem, im jüdischen Lande, du bist mitnichten die Kleinste. Im jüdischen Lande, du bist mitnichten die Kleinsten, unter den Fürsten Juda, denn aus dir soll mir kommen, der Herzog, den über mein Volk Israel ein Herr sei, denn aus dir soll mir kommen, der Herzog, der über mein Volk Israel ein Herr sei, über mein Volk Israel ein Herr sei.
Well, thank you very much to James, thank you very much to Paddy, and thank you very much to me. I'm sure that will be the winning line, so if you want to know who actually won, now is the point to probably stop watching, because it's definitely Campion, because I was in it. But in case you want to continue and see the losing three lines, we're now going to move on to St. Omer's, who are represented by Adrian and Molly as soloists, and then Annika, Adrian and George in the ensemble.
Interline Music. Don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind. Why not would I leave if you were everything I wanted you to be? When I saw what you did, who you with, got me questioning the things that I believe. So I ask myself, do I let you go? Do I keep you in the frame of my mind? Now I'm growing wise to your sugar-coated lies. Nothing sweet about my misery. Yeah, I finally found what went wrong. I finally found the wrong in you. I finally found what went wrong, baby. Oh, I finally found the wrong in you. Don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind. You again, why'd you call? I don't need to hear you crying out my name. Unlike before, when you and I laid eye to eye, now it's time for you to taste the bitter end. So I ask myself, do I let you go? Do I keep you in the frame of my mind? Now I'm growing wise to your sugar-coated lies. Nothing sweet about my misery. Yeah, I finally found what went wrong. I finally found the wrong in you. I finally found what went wrong. I finally found the wrong in you. Don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind, don't want to feel ya, don't want you on my mind. Thank you.
She worked her way through a cheap pack of cigarettes, hard liquor mixed with a bit of intellect. And all the boys, they were saying they were into it. Such a pretty face on a pretty neck is driving me crazy, but I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm kinda into it. It's getting crazy. I think I'm losing it. I think I'm losing it. Wait, I think she said I'm happy, oh baby. pay for it, but I pay for this. It's none of your, have your baby. It's none of your business. Have your baby. It's none of your, have your baby. Have your baby. It's none of your.
And that is absolutely fabulous ensemble work there. It's really difficult to do ensembles over the internet with people who aren't just yourself. So congratulations for that. We move on now to Sherborne, and it's going to be Eve and Sebastian and Maddie and Florence who are going to show us the way here, including the only family ensemble that you will hear this evening.
Oh, it's me. Well, Alibaba had them funny features that he had 1,000 tales. But master, you in luck, 'cause up your sleeve, you got a brain of magic never fails. I got some power in your corner now. Some heavy ammunition in your camp. You got some punch, pizzazz, yo, cool and how. See, all you gotta do is rub that lamp, and I'll say, Mr. Aladdin, sir, you wish should ever be. Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never had a friend like me. Life is your restaurant, and I'm your maitre d'. Can I whisper what it is you want? You ain't never had a friend like me. Oh, we pride ourselves on service. You devised the king's dish. So what you wish is your school dish. How about a little more back later? Have some of column A, try all of column B. I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me. Oh, no. Whoa. Oh, yeah. My. Your friends do this. Can your friends do that? Can your friends pull this and a little hair? Can your friends go poof? Well, looky here. Can your friends go abracadabra? Let her rip and make a sucker disappear. So don't you sit there like John Boogie. I'm here to answer all your midday prayers. You got me bona fide, set for you fat. You got a treaty for your charged affairs. I got a powerful urge to help you out. So what's your wish? I really wanna know. You got a list that's 3 miles long, no doubt. So all you gotta do is rub like so. Mr. Aladdin, yeah, what will your pleasures be? On the job, you think me about. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend like me. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Wonderful stuff, thank you very much. And so we move on to World, who are represented tonight by Fenella and by Yolanda, both doing solos, and by Miss Edwards doing what is definitely the bonus track of tonight's Interline Music Competition, as well as by a very well edited video for the ensemble, and in the ensemble you have Fenella again, but you also have Dominica, and you have the remarkable spectacle of there being two Susannas.
Think of me fondly when we've said goodbye. Remember me every so often, promise me you'll try. On that day, that not so distant day, when you were far away at free, if you have a spare moment, stop and think of me. And although it's always clear that this was never meant to be, if you happen to remember, spare a thought for me. Think of August when the trees were green. Don't think about the way things might have been. Think of me waking silent and resigned. Imagine me trying so hard to put you from my mind. Think of me, please say you'll think of me, no matter where and what you do. There will never be a day when I won't think of you.
Can it be Christy? Brava! Long ago, it seems so long ago, how young and innocent we were. She may not remember me, but I remember.
Flowers fade, the fruits of summer fade, they have their season, so do we. But please promise me that sometimes you will think of me. I'm taking. I ain't ever gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can feel your halo. Pray it won't fade away. I can see your halo. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo, hit me like a ray of sun, burning through my darkest night. You're the only one that I want. I think I'm addicted to your light. I swore I'd never fall again, but this don't even feel like falling. Gravity can't begin to pull me back to the ground again. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking, the risk that I'm taking. I'm never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can feel your halo. Pray it won't fade away. I can see your halo. Halo, I can feel your halo. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo, 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 I can see your halo. Halo, I can feel your halo. Halo, halo, everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. Baby, I can see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need and more. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can feel your halo. Pray it won't fade away.
We've had some really superb performances this evening. Thank you for turning that round. I know that there was only about 4 days in total for everybody to put those together, so I think that's been a real effort with great success. And if you are not feeling self-conscious about it, perhaps you could give yourself a little round of applause now. So it's now time to hand over to Mr. Foster, who's going to deliver the adjudications. That means that before he gives the results, he's going to give a few short comments about each performance, which is advice for the particular performer, but also more general advice that can be taken by most people who are listening who perform, I think. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Mr. Foster.
So the first performance was of American Idiot by Green Day. James, I loved your really confident start, and also you didn't hold back on the distortion, which is exactly right for this song. Try playing with one headphone in. That will really help to keep things in time. It means that you can hear the backing track all the way through the solo, because the temptation when you're playing loudly is just to kind of plow on ahead. And some of these syncopations are quite tricky. So just play with one headphone in. You'll be able to hear what you're doing, and that will keep you all in time. But well done. Patrick playing Brainstorm by the Arctic Monkeys, which is a song I love. Quite where you found the energy to do this during lockdown, I'm not quite sure. I've played it, it's relentless, it doesn't stop. The temptation is to tense up and get slightly ahead of the beat, beyond the kind of edgy groove that's needed for it. So well done for not doing that most of the time. It's really, really successful. Mr. Henderson, your choice of lovely summery shoots from the Christmas story was completely appropriate for a period of time where, quite frankly, we're not sure what day it is at the moment, what month, or even what year. Adrian, well done on an ambitious choice of programme. Beethoven's Appassionata Sonata is notoriously difficult. There are lots of subtleties in it, and that's why it's really difficult. So just be careful, really, really careful at the beginning when your quavers on the offbeat happen. They don't become triplets, okay? It's da 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 rather than ya ba ba ba. It's the way that you phrase them. You can also take more risks with the dynamic range as well. Beethoven certainly would have done. I was really, really impressed though by your octave work towards the end of the development section. So I spotted Georgia Smith from Molly. I thought this was a really, really committed and controlled performance, and you know, really good use of the space you've got available to you. Check out Jacob Collier's performance in his bathroom on the Jimmy Kimmel show the other week. Just remember that when you move around the room, it's always going to compromise the sound slightly. So just be careful of that. And you know, in live performance, great. When the microphone's fixed, try and stay still. So contrasting Beethoven with Harry Styles, well done to Annika, Adrian and George. I thought this was a really good attempt at some ensemble playing, and I think you did some decent rhythmic music making there. I thought the vocal performance was really, really special for its conviction. So good job, guys. It doesn't matter who your favourite genie is from Aladdin, Friend Like Me needs a sense of fun for it to work, and this performance had it. There's a lot of words to deliver, and you told the story well through quite a good sense of line, and the diction was good as well. The temptation is to fall into Sprechgesang or speech singing too often, but actually the sung passages were really, really controlled, and you showed some really good intonation, so well done, Eve. So, Clair de Lune by Debussy, really, really famous piece. And this was a nicely voiced performance, meaning that all of the notes and the chords sat where they needed to sit. And the passage work, the faster sections in the middle bit, were suitably nimble. You can afford to take more of a risk with the quiet passages, because then it means that the louder sections, that you know, Debussy uses some quite big dynamics in this piece, they become more obviously loud without having to force them. Now, you didn't force them at all, but it just makes them shine a bit more with that really, really quiet playing at the beginning. Well done. So to Alan Walker's Faded, the ensemble performance here. It was a good sense of ensemble, and it makes it so much easier when you're in the same room. But that means that you've got to take care with the balance between the voice and the piano. Obviously, having the video on the piano, making it more difficult for the voice to be picked up. One way of getting around that, though, is you can work really, really hard with the diction to make sure we know the story of the song. And I think you could do a little bit more there. But it was nicely sung. Well done. Think of Me as a hard song. So well done, Fenella. I thought this was a really effectively direct performance that showed some really good control and some mostly really secure intonation. Try and take a little bit more care of the ends of the phrases. So when a note finishes, make sure it's finished in the room before it finishes in your head. Sometimes you got the impression that it was just like kind of cut off and done there. But the diction was very good, and there were some really nicely shaped vowels, which meant that the tone was good as well. Well done. Yolanda, a very, very familiar melody and a very unfamiliar guise. And I thought this performance was a really good demonstration of the expressive powers of the instrument. There were loads of colour, there was a lot of shade and dynamic contrast. I don't know whether it was, but it had an improvisatory quality to it, which only rarely stuttered. Just try and plan out the shape of that improvisation a little bit more. Well done. So once Halo settled down, the Beyonce number, I really enjoyed this performance. I thought it was quite stylish and obviously a lyrically appropriate fade out at the end. Taking on Queen Bee's vocals is always going to be a challenge, and you were really up to it, so well done. I also like the creative use of the stamping, clapping and the unusual instrumentation. Well done. So to Miss Edwards' organ performance, just when you thought the current situation wasn't terrifying enough, along comes some dubiously attributed bark to cloud the room over. Thank you so much. So now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for the results. And first of all, I just want to give a huge congratulations to all of you for taking part. It's really, really difficult to find the motivation to get up and work hard at something like this at the moment. So you all deserve a lot of praise for that. I've been asked to give a highly commended award to one particular individual that I think has stood out. So for two varied, controlled and challenging vocal performances, the award for highly commended performer goes to Fenella of Weld. Well done. It's been a genuine challenge to separate the lines with such a varied palette of performances. You're comparing very, very different styles of music here. And you will no doubt have your own opinions as to my competence once I've revealed the results. Nevertheless, from the comfort of a 2.5 hour drive away, I can announce that the results are as follows.
I'm sorry, we appear to have lost Mr. Foster there. Mr. Hanley, do you have any ideas what we should do? Mr. Hanley says we'll have to announce the results at Great Academies on the 30th. Sorry folks, see you all on the 30th to announce the results. In the meantime, congratulations to all of the performers, especially the one from Campion who were obviously the best. Thank you very much. Good evening, good night.
Thank you ever so much for inviting me. I hope you're all staying safe, keeping well. Wish you all the very best and keep playing and singing, guys. Well done.